Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Trix, and in today's video I'm going to do something a little bit different. And first I want to explain my mindset and how I'm thinking about this, because I never wanted this to be a channel that criticizes and comments on others, and the focus only to be on that. The heart of this channel has always been sharing my creative filmmaking, other creativity like digital arts, my music, cozy hobbies, and my story. My aim has been for this to be a safe place for trauma survivors and late bloomers. But with that said, I will do something a little bit different today. For educational purposes though. And no, I will not stop posting my regular content, but if this goes well and is received and liked well, I might do a mix of personal growth, creative arts, and reaction opinion based content in the future. That is my mindset and my thinking around this. And but yeah, let's begin. As you have probably already guessed based on the title on this video, I'm going to react and respond to some American fundamentalist Christians in this video, and see how that goes. And before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself, who I am in this world, and which place I'm coming from, and why, so you understand why I want to respond to this. I am from Scandinavia, more specifically Sweden, and you might hear that on my accent. I have a mixed heritage. I'm actually Portuguese Indian and Swedish, because my mom is from India and my dad is Swedish. But I was born here in Sweden. I'm 32 years old, and I used to be a Christian, but now I identify more with Christo-paganism, and more specifically, I mean the Trinitarian Wiccan tradition. I'm a trauma survivor since childhood and early adulthood, and I have autism as well. Oh, and I'm gay. So naturally I have a lot to say about fundamentalists. Please note that these are my opinions, and I'm just responding on what these fundamentalist creators have stated publicly online. So that is naturally up for criticism because it is online. But I won't snark on them as people, and I will educate from my point of view. That's the point with this video, that I will educate from my point of view as a multi-minority person from another culture than them. So I think that could be interesting. So, I have followed creators talking about people such as Paul and Morgan and Girl Defined, amongst others. And what I notice is that the red thread, or what to say, in their theology is that the entire Christian world is American, and by the American standards, and that's the truth, and that's what the entire world should abide by. Their interpretation of the Bible is shaped by their culture and politics, and that is universal for all people across the globe. And I think that's so interesting, because Christianity in Sweden is so different from American Christianity. And sure, there are conservatives in Sweden as well. There are extreme people here as well, but they are far less common here. And I think it's very interesting to assume that all cultures should abide by your interpretation in your culture. Because the culture is part of theology. It's just this. I grew up Christian and a little bit with the Catholic faith as well, since my mom is Catholic, and wow, there are a lot of differences from American Christianity. Sure, there are conservative Christians, as I said, in Sweden as well, but they are actually a minority in my experience. Most of the church of Sweden is liberal and welcomes everyone and perform even homosexual weddings, etc. Then there are other types of churches that are more private, or like they say they are like quote-unquote free churches, but those churches are minority and bordering on cult mentality. Luckily, they are seen as weirdos by the general public, and most people trust the Church of Sweden more than the conservative free quote churches. My family is progressive, and they still manage to keep their faith. Because here is a concept for you. Scriptures are not clear for anyone, especially not people who haven't studied it a lot. Which I see that Paul and Morgan or the girl Define, they haven't gone to Bible school or Bible college. So I don't really know why they are trying to interpret for everyone. I'm not sure. Taking the Bible literally is the lazy way to read it, in my opinion. We interpret the text differently here in Sweden, maybe, but who decides what's the right way to interpret it? I mean, who decides what's the right way? What if Paul and Morgan and Girl Defined are false prophets or false teachers or whatever they have accused more progressive Christians to be? What if they are the false teachers? I haven't heard anyone try to say that back to them, but here I will, because I haven't heard that before, and they constantly accuse progressive Christians to be false teachers or false prophets. But what if they are, I mean, Paul and Morgan and Girl Define, what if they are actually the false teachers here? And the fact that they are trying to gatekeep Christianity and decide who is and who is not a real Christian. I hate to break it to you, but that's not up to you. You don't have that power, okay? For the sake of today's video, I will focus on 3 issues with fundamentalism and challenge their view and other people's view from my point of view. Also, I forgot to mention, but I have an education in behavioral sciences here in Sweden. So I know a little bit about psychology and stuff like that. And also my education is hard to translate to your exact system. But it is college level, and yeah. I have also studied theology, and now I'm studying philosophy at university. So I have a little bit of knowledge in these fields, and anyway, here is the 3 main issues for me personally with fundamentalism and these creators in particularly. Issue 1, their stance on equality. Issue 2, they being pro-life or anti-choice or rather pro-birth. And issue 3, their dramatic and intense hatred of the queer community. I will talk about these 3 things a little bit, not too in-depth, but a little bit in the next several minutes. Now, let's talk about their stance on equality. Women submit to their husbands. Who has not heard about that Bible verse? I think most people in my country, even the conservative people, would agree that this verse is a product of its time. There is a reason why the Bible has different books. It's an anthology, right? Some books are poetic, prophetic, historical, so why would you treat a historical book the same way as you treat a poetic book? History should be left just that, part of the past. So that's my response to that entire issue, and let's move on to they being pro-birth. Because that's more accurate to what they are. I refuse to call it pro-life, because why do you use the term life when you don't care about the host of the fetus? I don't know. I will say here that I was SA'd. I hope you know what that term means, because I don't know how much I can say on YouTube. But sexually assaulted. And if I had become pregnant, I would have terminated that pregnancy, because I didn't consent to the sex, nor did I consent to the pregnancy. And they never address these circumstances. They just conveniently leave these situations out of their arguments. I don't want children, but my abuser wanted them, or wanted to use me, so what do I do then? This is an honest and open question to you. What would I do if I didn't consent to having sex and I would to become pregnant? What would I do if my abuser wanted to use me for that and I didn't consent? I never hear them address this. So I would be curious, because I will always have the stance that nobody has the right to someone else's body, not even a fetus. You don't have the right to someone else's body to stay alive. That is why I can't just demand anyone to give me their kidney, for example. If we treat fetuses as full people, which the conservative right in America wants to do, then they should be held to the same standards as anyone else, meaning they don't have the right to someone else's body just as I don't have the right to someone else's body for my right to stay alive. If my life is dependent on another person, well, I don't have that right. Bodily autonomy comes first when we are in this world, so why would there be exceptions for fetuses if they should have the same rights as everyone else? They can't have special rights. So yeah, that is my take on that. I really hope the Swedish politicians don't listen to the American ones on this matter, because a fetus over a full-grown person is insane. That's insanity to me. I got a little bit heated while discussing this, so let's get even more upset and discuss the last issue, which is their over-dramatic and intense obsession to hate on the LGBTQ plus community. There are actually a lot of scholars out there who knows this better than Paul and Morgan and channels like theirs. Many of these biblical scholars agree that love, as we define it today, doesn't even exist in the Bible, in the heterosexual view we have today. So why would it be different when it comes to homosexuality then? Heterosexuality wasn't the same then as it is now, so homosexuality is not even the same either. Women are sold and transferred to be a new wife to some man as property. So if not the hetero marriage is the same, why would the queer love be the same? What I mean by this is saying that marriage has changed since Bible times, and the word in Hebrew that they use to describe certain acts that can be interpreted as homophobic in the Bible might be talking about PDF files or essay done on slaves, and many of them were boys. So yeah, I think that is the point in the Bible, and not queer love between two consenting adults in 2025. So what I believe is that the Bible is kind of mute when it comes to homosexuality and queer love and the LGBTQ plus community and even trans people. I think the Bible is mute, so I don't know why everybody is arguing about it. And honestly, the last thing I want to say is that being religious, being Christian, is a choice. Nobody forcing you to be Christian. Being gay is as much of a choice as being a person of color. And I say that as a person of color. I didn't choose my skin color, I didn't choose my eye color, and I didn't choose to be queer. But here I am. So yeah, a conclusion. This is just a few of my thoughts, and I have actually more to say. But I leave it here. I might do more similar videos in the future, but of course it depends on my subscribers, what they want to see, and so on and so forth. And again, my regular content won't go anywhere. I just wanted to do this to see where it could lead me in the future. If it's interesting or educational. I've been thinking of doing this kind of video for over a year, but didn't really do that because I didn't know how it would be received. So yeah, what do you think? And remember that I have an anti-bullying policy for my comment section. You have the right to leave a comment, but I also have the right to decide whether it's appropriate or not. Commenting is a privilege, not a human right. My channel is my story, and my comment section is not a megaphone for bigotry. But please, if you word it respectfully, even if you disagree, please leave a comment. It will stay if it is decently written. Whether you agree or disagree, I would like to hear from you what you think about this video, because this was kind of new to me to do this video. And please like and subscribe if you feel like it. And yeah, I see you in my next video. Bye!